This month, the Middle East entered a new era, one that could reshape global power. Saudi Arabia, long a U.S. ally, has signed a nuclear energy deal with China and a mutual defense pact with nuclear-armed Pakistan. This isn't just business, it's a seismic shift, challenging decades of American dominance. For years, the world worried about Iran's nuclear ambitions. Now Saudi Arabia's bold move adds a new, unpredictable variable. The kingdom, under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is signaling it won't rely solely on the U.S. for security. Recent events like an Israeli airstrike in Doha and perceived American indifference pushed Riyadh to seek new alliances. The decisions made in Riyadh, Beijing, and Islamabad this September will echo for decades, shaping the future of energy, security, and diplomacy. The world is watching as the stakes rise. Saudi Arabia's nuclear ambitions are decades in the making, rooted in a complex web of regional rivalries, energy needs, and national pride. Since the late 20th century, the kingdom has quietly pursued nuclear technology, seeing it as a symbol of modernity and a crucial tool for its future. This drive is fueled by a need to balance against nuclear-armed neighbors like Israel and Iran, whose advanced programs have long shaped the security landscape of the Middle East. For Saudi leaders, nuclear capability is not just about prestige, it's about survival in a volatile region. The kingdom's quiet partnership with Pakistan dates back to the late 1990s, when Saudi financial support helped Islamabad develop its nuclear arsenal. This relationship was built on mutual trust and shared strategic interests, with both nations seeking to counterbalance regional threats. In return, Riyadh is widely believed to have secured a secret understanding: access to nuclear technology in a crisis. While never officially confirmed, this arrangement has been the subject of intense speculation among analysts and diplomats for years. Publicly, Saudi Arabia's nuclear program is framed as a way to diversify its energy mix and free up more oil for export. The government argues that nuclear power is essential for meeting rising domestic energy demands and supporting economic growth. But behind closed doors, negotiations with the United States for a civil nuclear deal have repeatedly stalled. The sticking point? Riyadh's insistence on enriching uranium at home, a step Washington sees as a proliferation risk and a potential path to weapons capability. With talks at an impasse, Saudi Arabia began to look elsewhere, seeking partners more willing to accommodate its ambitions. This search has led the kingdom to explore new alliances and reconsider its place in the global nuclear order. The stage was set for a dramatic pivot eastward, as Saudi Arabia deepened its engagement with China and other rising powers, hoping to secure the technology and support it needs. Ultimately, the kingdom's quest for nuclear power is as much about national security and regional influence as it is about energy. For Saudi Arabia, the nuclear dream is a high-stakes gamble, one that could reshape the balance of power in the Middle East for generations to come. In September 2025, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan signed a strategic mutual defense agreement, pledging to defend each other against aggression. This pact effectively places Saudi Arabia under Pakistan's nuclear umbrella, a direct message to Iran and Israel. The move followed escalating regional tensions, including an Israeli airstrike in Doha that shattered confidence in U.S. protection. By aligning with Pakistan, Riyadh has fundamentally changed the region's security calculus. The agreement is both a deterrent and a springboard, giving Saudi Arabia the confidence to pursue nuclear energy with China. The defense pact was the foundation for Riyadh's next step, a nuclear partnership with Beijing. Saudi Arabia is no longer asking for permission, it's taking action to secure its future. The region's balance of power has shifted overnight. U.S.-Saudi nuclear talks collapsed over Washington's refusal to allow uranium enrichment in the kingdom. Riyadh, determined to control its own nuclear destiny, turned to China. Beijing offered advanced Hualong-1 reactors, without the strict non-proliferation conditions demanded by the U.S.-China's proven track record in Pakistan, made it an attractive partner. The deal deepens Saudi dependence on Chinese technology and cements Beijing's influence in the Gulf. For China, it's a strategic win, expanding its Belt and Road Initiative and its role as a key player in the Middle East. By stepping in where the U.S. hesitated, China has redrawn the region's alliances. The nuclear partnership marks a new era of multipolar competition. At the heart of Saudi Arabia's nuclear push lies a strategic calculation. Every new reactor that comes online means millions of barrels of oil can be redirected from domestic power plants to the global market. This isn't just about energy diversification, it's about maximizing the kingdom's most valuable resource. By reducing its own reliance on oil for electricity, Saudi Arabia can sell more to the world, strengthening its economic position and extending its influence far beyond its borders. With 16 reactors planned, the potential windfall is staggering. Tens of billions of dollars in additional oil revenue could flow into the kingdom's coffers each year. This influx of capital doesn't just fuel economic growth, it empowers Saudi Arabia to invest in ambitious projects, modernize its infrastructure, and pursue its vision of becoming a global powerhouse. The nuclear program is as much about economic transformation as it is about energy. The partnership with China is a game-changer. By agreeing to pay for nuclear reactors with oil, Saudi Arabia creates a self-sustaining economic loop. Oil funds reactors, reactors free up more oil for export, and the cycle continues. This arrangement not only cements China's role as a key partner, but also gives Saudi Arabia leverage in global energy markets. China, already the kingdom's largest oil customer, is now entwined with Saudi Arabia in a deeper, more strategic relationship. The nuclear partnership strengthens economic ties, but it also signals a shift in the global balance of power, as Beijing and Riyadh align their interests in both energy and technology. Meanwhile, the defense pact with Pakistan instantly elevates Saudi Arabia's deterrence capabilities. With Islamabad's nuclear arsenal as a silent guarantee, Riyadh gains a powerful new layer of security, one that sends a clear message to rivals and allies alike. Chinese military technology, tested and proven in recent conflicts, is now flowing into Saudi Arabia. Advanced drones, surveillance systems, and missile defenses are reshaping Riyadh's military posture, giving the kingdom confidence in its new alliances and its ability to defend its interests. The U.S. response to recent regional crises has been widely viewed as hesitant and insufficient. This perceived weakness has accelerated Saudi Arabia's pivot toward new partners as the kingdom seeks to secure its future in an increasingly unpredictable world. Now, Riyadh is leveraging its vast oil wealth to build a new security architecture, one that is less dependent on Washington and more attuned to the realities of a multipolar world. Investments in defense, technology, and infrastructure are all part of this grand strategy. The kingdom is transforming itself from a traditional oil producer into a strategic power broker. By combining energy dominance with diplomatic and military partnerships, Saudi Arabia is reshaping its role on the world stage. As these alliances deepen and new energy routes emerge, the Middle East's energy and security landscape is undergoing a profound transformation, one that will reverberate across the globe for decades to come. The Saudi-Pakistan-China axis is the most dramatic realignment in the Middle East in decades. This emerging partnership signals a profound shift in the region's balance of power, as traditional alliances are being re-examined and new ones are forged in response to changing global dynamics. For 70 years, the U.S. was the region's security guarantor. American influence shaped the political and military landscape, with Washington acting as the ultimate broker and protector for its allies. Now, that paradigm is shattered. The old certainties are gone, replaced by a sense of unpredictability and competition. Saudi Arabia isn't abandoning the U.S., but it's hedging its bets and diversifying partnerships. The kingdom is actively seeking new economic and security partners, aiming to secure its future in a rapidly evolving world. Washington faces a dilemma. It can't afford to alienate Riyadh, but it also can't ignore the kingdom's turn to China. The U.S. must walk a diplomatic tightrope, balancing its interests while trying to maintain its influence. China, meanwhile, has scored a major geopolitical victory, offering technology and political support with no strings attached. Beijing's approach is appealing to many in the region, who are wary of Western conditions and eager for new opportunities. Israel and Iran are recalculating their strategies, each watching the shifting alliances with growing concern, and each preparing for a more uncertain future. Israel faces a new nuclear-backed rival, raising the stakes for its own security and prompting fresh debates about its military posture. Meanwhile, Iran may accelerate its own nuclear ambitions, seeking to counterbalance the growing influence of its adversaries and secure its place in the regional order. The risk of a regional arms race is real, as countries invest in advanced weaponry and nuclear capabilities, fueling tensions and uncertainty. As old alliances fray and new ones form, the region is entering a period of intense rivalry and shifting loyalties. The U.S. must now adapt to a multipolar Middle East where its influence is no longer guaranteed, and where every move is scrutinized by both friends and rivals. The region's future will be shaped by competition, not consensus. Every nation is jockeying for position, seeking advantage in a landscape defined by uncertainty. The stakes for global security have never been higher, What happens in the Middle East will reverberate far beyond its borders, shaping the world for years to come. The Saudi-China partnership is as much about economics as security. Nuclear energy is central to Vision 2030, freeing up oil for export and funding the kingdom's transformation. The deal with China aligns Vision 2030 with the Belt and Road Initiative, bringing billions in investment and technology. Saudi Arabia is becoming a key node in China's new Silk Road, with deepening economic interdependence. More oil will flow to China, and future deals may even challenge the dominance of the US dollar in energy trade. But over-reliance on China brings risks, potential friction with Western partners and new vulnerabilities. Riyadh must balance the opportunities of the East with the legacy ties of the West. The economic tremors of this deal will be felt worldwide. Experts are divided on the Saudi pivot. Some see it as a rational response to a dangerous neighborhood, filling a deterrence gap left by the US. Others warn it could spark a destabilizing arms race, with Iran and others racing to match Saudi capabilities. Pakistan's role is controversial. Its willingness to share nuclear know-how raises questions about command, control, and proliferation. The new defense pact brings old suspicions into the open, blurring the line between civilian and military nuclear power. Is Saudi Arabia's program truly peaceful, or a hedge for future weapons? The lack of Western safeguards fuels global mistrust. The region's nuclear future is now more uncertain and more dangerous. The Middle East stands at a crossroads, its alliances and nuclear landscape transformed in weeks. The Saudi-Pakistan-China axis challenges decades of non-proliferation norms, setting a precedent others may follow. Iran, facing a nuclear-backed rival, may accelerate its own weapons program, risking a regional arms race. The US and its allies must rethink their approach. Condemnation alone won't work. Creative diplomacy and credible security guarantees are urgently needed to prevent further escalation. The world must closely monitor Saudi nuclear developments and regional military ties. Dialogue between all parties, including Iran and Israel, is essential to avoid catastrophe. The sands of the Middle East have shifted, revealing a perilous new landscape. The choices made now will determine whether this era brings stability or spirals into conflict.